Savant, back at it with another one. Hello, folks. I'm kind of liking this view. What do you think? The total body view, or do you just like to see a talking head? Personally, I kind of like this. I get to stand around, put on a nice shirt, show some energy, and do a little twirl. 2024, the year of fragrances. It's like 2024 just automatically blew up and we started releasing 10 fragrances a day. There's so many that kind of got overhyped, overshadowed. And I have about 10 here that I want to show you. Some of them you've seen, some of them haven't really seen. And I just want to highlight them because we kind of need to look back to look forward. We need to look back and hope because we're going to go through some times in the future where we need to look back. And we probably need to look back at our collection and say, do I have something like that? Do I really need this as I go forward? Well, some of you might have some of these, or you might want to get these in the future. And since they were released last year, they're going to be a little cheaper this year. So, Savant, let's roll the intro.
Welcome to Savant, and welcome to the sensational world of fragrances, where every spray tells a story and every note captivates the senses. Join me on a journey of olfactory exploration as we uncover the secrets of the most alluring scents on the market. Welcome to
Savant.
Overlooked, underhyped fragrances. Do you like them? What's good about them? Well, I think there's a lot of things that are good about them. And really, when we have a underhyped fragrance, a lot of people won't have it. So if you stop and ask somebody, hey, what are you wearing? And a few people have heard about it, but a lot of people don't have it and aren't wearing it, you will smell unique. And so I like to have a few fragrances in my collection that I can pull out that smell super unique, that people might know of the perfume house, but they may not have smelled that exact one. So it's a conversation starter, pulls people in. Okay, before we get started, scent of the day for me today is Cap d'Antibes by Bob. And I'm kind of on that little fresh kick right now again. And so this is in the same vein of Fahrenheit by Dior or Nishane Iggy, where this has this violet note, that the violet note is really the prominent note that you're getting. Has marine qualities, has salty characteristics, definitely masculine leaning, but where Dior Fahrenheit leans heavily into that violet and gives you this gasoline note, this dials it way back. And it's still blue, creating this blue seaside yacht atmosphere. And it also kind of leans into that Nishane Iggy, where Nishane Iggy has that violet note, and that violet note feels like crunchy and crispy and almost blue-green. Well, this does that too, but it dials it way back. And the performance on this is stellar. I'm always getting over 8 hours. This is work appropriate, fun appropriate. I think anywhere you would wear Dior Fahrenheit or you would wear Nishane Iggy, you can have this in your collection. You can wear it to those occasions. This is honestly my favorite of that genre, of the overdone, really heavy-handed violet. Cap d'Antibes by Bob. Okay, so first we're going to start with Memo Cappadocia. Now, this came out in late 2023, but I'm highlighting it because, number one, I got it in 2024, and there's literally one review on this, maybe two online. Cubano did it, and I'm really surprised how similar Memo Cappadocia was to Baby Cat, which he didn't mention. That being said, where Memo Cappadocia differs, I can honestly say it's worth having both, and I like this so much. It's basically equal to, if not better than, the new versions of YSL Baby Cat. Memo Cappadocia. Opening, sparkling citruses, flesh, florals, uplifting character and nature, but really immediately you're getting these creamy spices, this black tea, and this soft woods running through, lingering through, that's automatically giving you comfort. This is the comfort scent. This is a sexy scent. I've had some interesting encounters out in the world with this scent. It's also musky, ambery. It has subtle, leathery undertones. It has a sweet aspect to it. If Baby Cat is sweet to you, well, then Memo Cappadocia will have some of that sweetness. Now, where this also differs is Memo Cappadocia has this frankincense note running through the core of this that you definitely get. So it feels like Baby Cat, but it has a creamier aspect, a little bit more of a tea, like black tea aspect, a little bit more aromatic, a lot more incense, but it has that sweet, sticky, drippy, vanilla-esque vibe to it of that DNA that's like Baby Cat running through it. Man, this is so good. And it's strong. It's decently strong. It's not a huge projector, but I'm easily getting 8 to 10 hours out of this. And this is kind of underrated because nobody's talking about it. If you have this, nobody else is going to be wearing it. And I kind of do like that. But let's not gatekeep. Let's put each other on. That's Memo Cappadocia. Okay, back to the program. This next one came out in 2024, and this was a cult classic by the House of Byredo. Before this came out, this was Mojave Ghost, and they had the original. Now this is the Absolu. So this is the stronger elixir version, and they did not disappoint with the strength. Before you even think about this, do not blind buy this. Go and test this. I tested this probably 4 or 5 times before I even thought about buying it. The first 2 times, I absolutely was like, this is way too feminine. The third or fourth time, I actually gave it a real good chance, sprayed a whole bunch, and let myself wear it for the day. First of all, the performance on this is relentless, while still being light and ethereal. Easily 8 to 12 hours. Secondly, this starts off pretty feminine, pretty white floral, and very musky, and then 2 to 3 hours in, it starts to die down and really becomes way more unisex. Beautiful fragrance. I've worn this to parties. I've worn this to outings with 7 to 10 people, and they've all loved it. It's definitely one of those that lingers. Like you walk behind somebody and they'll 4 or 5 feet behind you. They are definitely smelling this. If you're in a group, they're going to get little wafts of this because it just has this strength where it pushes and sort of presents itself. This is not one like a draw-in scent. This is a I'm going to come and get you scent. If you like fragrances that are unisex, that are a little bit feminine and then back down to that unisex aspect, this is one that is kind of like really underhyped, not talked about much, and I think it needs more play. If you got a lady in your life, they'll love this one. I could also wear this too. I do wear this. I've worn it 4 or 5 times. I put it on my wife's shelf, but I'm happy to share this one with her. And that is Byredo's Mojave Ghost Absolu. The next underhyped fragrance of 2024, and this was released in 2024, is Gritti's Mango Oud. Gritti's a house that I've been slowly getting more involved in, and they really make high quality scents. Now, I don't think they're a clone house. They have a lot of unique scents, but a lot of their scents do some things on the market in a very different way. So to me, Gritti's Mango Oud, I'm getting Herbapura vibes, but it smells nothing like Herbapura. It's like you took the structure of Herbapura, and you made it into your own thing. So I'm getting this crisp, clean, very sharp, very clear mango note. And that mango note is summer vibes all the way. It's very clean, it's very energizing, uplifting, juicy, drippy, not really sweet, but very clear. Then I'm getting this musk and this oud. And the oud is really the star of the show because this mango note starts to slowly drop off in the later mid. Probably 2 hours in, it starts to slowly drop off. And by the time you're getting 6 to 8 hours, that mango note is way in the back. You know, you're getting that oud note. That oud note is 60 to 70% of the composition. 20 to 30% of that is that mango note. And this oud note is definitely a westernized oud note, but kicked up with a little bit of Arab flavor. And it's interesting, it's unique, it's good. And personally, for me, I like the oud better than I like that really raw musk that's in Herbapora. And so this is underhyped. Not a lot of people are buying this. Not a lot of people are wearing this. And this now is on super duper sale. I think I saw it at Angel Sets Angel for like, I want to say like, with the 15% discount, like, I don't know, $110 or something. Like, and when this came out, it was like 200 plus. So really a good buy. This is not the strongest performer, meaning it's not an intense projector, but it will give you 6 to 8 hours. I love it because you can wear it in the summer, you can wear it in the winter. Dead of the heat, you can wear this oud fragrance. Fantastic, fruity, sexy, interesting, unique Herbapura vibes. That's Gritti's Mango Oud. Okay, this next one is, hey, Jackson. One of the little puppies right here. Oh, Jackson. Let's say hello. Let's say hello. This is good boy Jackson. So Jackson was another rescue. We actually have 3 dogs, and all 3 of them are rescues. So I had a best friend growing up, and his name was Ophir. Well, we were hanging out, and his dad, it was kind of bad as a kid, and his dad was from Israel. He was like a big ranking Israeli general in the army. His grandfather was actually, and his dad was connected to the army. Anyway, his dad sent him back to Israel when we were kids. So I didn't get to see Ophir for years and years and years. And this had to be when we were like 16. So fast forward later in life, 20 some years, I'm like 35, walking through the casino in Jackson, walking through the casino in Caesars. And all of a sudden I see Ophir like walking. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Turns out Ophir's dad died 6 months later. We kept in touch for a while. His dad died 6 months later. And we're talking. I called to send my condolences and pray with him and talk to him. And he's like, I just bought this dog in remembrance of my father. And I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. It's so cute. And probably 2-3 months after he buys the dog, he's like, hey, man, I can't really take care of this dog. And I just really feel bad. Jackson, he's a little Jackson, relaxing. And he's like, I don't know who to give it to. Do you know anybody? And I'm like, you know what? Let me go talk to my wife. So we drove down to Cali. We picked up the dog. Jackson was like super small. And now he's our little puppy. And he's in remembrance of one of my best friends when I was a kid. I got him. He was probably 6 months old at the time. So he was still a baby. He's 5.5 now. And that's a good boy. And I'm going to show you his trick. He does a bunch of tricks. I've never taught him any of this stuff. He does all this by himself. Jackson, come here. Jackson.
Jackson, up.
Big, good boy. That's a good boy. Okay, next up. This is Verity by Spirit of Kings. Now, Spirit of Kings, they have a cheaper line and they have a more expensive line. This line came out in 2022, but the Spirit of Kings store had an issue where they weren't delivering to the USA. And this line just came into the USA in 2024. So for us, it's brand new. And I got Spirit of Kings Verity. Now, this is the best iteration, redo, remix, clone, inspiration of Creed's Aventus I have ever smelled. This is Creed Aventus, spot on, that beautiful blackberry note, that birch, that slightly leather, that aromatic man, all of that is man riding on a horse, Aventus, with a soapier, clean, fresher touch. There's an aldehydic note in this, an aldehyde note, but it doesn't smell like soap. It just is there and it adds a freshness. It adds a lightness. I wouldn't say it's like you mix the freshness of Aventus cologne and put it in Aventus. It's more like you just freshen up the Aventus, where you had that birch in there, but that birch to a lot of people smells smoky. Well, that birch in here smells clean. And the strength is good. Aventus is in a DNA that becomes really ridiculously strong when it's done because it has a lot of naturals. Well, this has a ton of naturals, and this is done right. At least 7 to 9 hours, absolutely making you through a workday. But the best iteration that we have found, that I have found, and I've tried dumb amounts, 40 of them, all of them, the CDMs, all of them, any ones you can try, I've tried them. A lot of them are really good. This is the best one, hands down. Spirit of Kings, Verity. Okay, let's keep it rolling with a release of 2024, Mason Francis Kurkdjian's APOM. So this was a re-release of a fragrance that was discontinued. There was a male and a female fragrance called APOM, and it means a piece of me. This is the fragrance that Mason Francis Kurkdjian mostly wears, that he connects with. And I have a bottle of the old vintage discontinued stuff. It's amazing. I like this better. This is a little bit more unisex. This has this floral aspect to it. It's really an amber, powdery amber at its core, but it has a floral aspect in the beginning of it that really starts to wane back and then meet at a perfect balance in the middle. This is ridiculously strong. I'm getting all day performance, over 8 to 10 hours. It seeps into the skin. I literally went for the 200 because I was like, I'm going to wear this and I'm going to use this. I mean, I've had this for 4 months and I've used it that much in this huge collection. Definitely unisex, classy, masculine and feminine at the same time. It's the perfect mix. It's an amber floral that can be worn in every season except for the dead heat. I probably won't wear this in the dead heat, but every other time of the year I will. And when I want something that's dependable, that's classy, that's going to linger and draw people in while also making its presence known, this guy is it. Super strong, super good, classy, elegant, modern, sexy. That's Mason Francis Kurkdjian's APOM. Okay, this next one, I feel like this did get some hype, but it sort of died down quick. And I'm always a little weary when all of a sudden people get, free bottles or whatever. They hype up a fragrance. Immediately you see 9 people reviewing it, and then they never hear about it in their lists again. To me, that makes me weary of that fragrance, not of that person, of that fragrance. And it makes me really like, hey, do I need this fragrance? I probably should try a decant of it first, because it's talked about for a month and then never talked about again. Well, I've talked about this. I've reviewed this on the channel, and I'm bringing it back because it is that good and it is worth it. This is Iris Cartagena 502. Cartagena. So this is in the space of the Homme Intense, where this has this Irish note. This has this makeup bag quality. It has this powderiness. It has this cacao aspect. It has this pepperiness. But where this differs is some people, some guys smell the Homme Intense and find it too feminine. This you won't find feminine. You will find this masculine because the cacao aspect and the pepper aspect are pushed way up. This is super peppery. The cacao aspect, it's like you're smelling this and you're getting cacao first and pepper, and then you're getting this iris. And it lingers on. Then the back end, you get more cacao. It's really good. I've compared this to Iris Malakon, and it's basically the same thing as Iris Malakon, except Iris Malakon is creamier, a little lighter, a little bit more unisex. I personally, if I'm choosing between Iris Malakon or Iris Cartagena, I'm choosing Iris Malakon, but there's different in the way where this is more masculine. So most guys are going to feel more comfortable wearing this. So I would definitely give them a try. I'm keeping this in the collection because it's different enough from Iris Malakon that it deserves its own play. And it's decently strong. It gets good performance, 6 to 8 hours. Definitely great for a date night, going out event. You can wear this to work. It's pretty mass appealing, but it's still absolutely unique in the way that it's done in that genre, with the notes kicked up a little bit. They didn't try to mimic something. They just added something in that they liked, which is that cacao and that peppery aspect. So Dior Homme Intense kicked up with peppers and cacao extra. That's Iris Cartagena 502 by Bon Parfumeur. This surprised me because these clone houses have gotten so much better over the last few years. So this is Paris Corner's Khair. Now this is like $26. And what you're getting for $26, I'm blown away. I kind of have to eat my words and say, you know, clone houses and these Arab houses and these niche houses aren't good, because they are. This is really good. This is a westernized oud fragrance. It's citric at the top, it's oudy, it's aromatic, and it's leathery. And what this really reminds me of is Louis Vuitton's Sur La Route. Now, the thing with Louis Vuitton's Sur La Route, an amazing leathery citric fragrance, but just hella weak. Super dumb weak. Like, so weak that you're pissed for buying it. I mean, I got it for real cheap, but still, it's like, I got it for like $140, and I don't think that was worth it because of its lack of performance. Max was like $4 or $5. But one of those that just amazing to respray. Well, I'm getting that with this, and this is kicked up. So at the top, you're getting these citruses, and then there's this bergamot, so it's refreshing. And you're immediately getting this leathery, very light, ethereal, very like perfect touch of leather. And then it feels a little bit oudy mixed in, so it feels like Arab, it feels Easternized, and it's super unique and good. And for $26, I'm just going to tell you right now, blind buy worthy. This was released in late 2023, but I got it in 2024, and it's worth talking about. And it does have hype, but it needs to be talked about more. So I put it on the list because I want you to know about it for $26. Man, Paris Corner's Khair. Okay, Essential Parfums Bois Imperial. This is the Extrait version of the Quentin Biche that was done for Bois Imperial by Essential Parfums, the regular one. Now, Quentin Biche is the creator of Ganymede. Ganymede, if you know about it, you know it's ethereal, it's sexy, it's otherworldly. It's a hate it or love it fragrance. You either love this fragrance or you don't like it. It's either a fragrance you can wear all the time, every day, or it's a fragrance that smells like a dentist's shop to you. Well, if you like it and you haven't tried Bois Imperial Extrait and you're in a cold environment, you have another 4 to 5 months or so of cold weather, definitely look into this one. This Extrait for this 30 mil is like $120. So it's a decent price. It is a little bit expensive for sure. But what this does, the EDP doesn't do, is it makes it darker, sexier, richer, a little bit more smoky, a little bit more mysterious, a lot more opulent, and a lot more sexy. It's also just as strong, but their performance isn't as sillage heavy. If you know about the strength of Ganymede and you know about the strength of Bois Imperial, both of those fragrances, which we have right here, are really strong. This is like, for the freshness of this and for what you can wear this in the heat, my goodness, this is like 8 to 10 hours, and it is a trail monster. It really just gets the wind, it picks it up, and you'll smell this 5-6 feet away on somebody. This Extrait stays closer to the skin, within the foot, but it's still lasting 8 to 10 hours. But in the way where this is daytime, this is nighttime. And people talked about it, but it didn't really get rolling. It didn't really get the hype. And I do think it deserves a little bit more hype. So that greenness, that aromatic essence, that leathery suede vibe, it is in the same vein as Ganymede, but it's a lot more green, a lot more aromatic. So if you're in that Ganymede space and you want something that's unique, made by the same perfumer, that is strong, date night, suit and tie, collared shirt, going out type of thing, Bois Imperial Extrait. Okay, and my favorite release of 2024, I have been hyping this up for the last 3 months. I'm the only person to talk about it. I want to give it to more reviewers so they can talk about it, so that you guys can get it and realize how good this thing is. This is Vertus's Anka, and I have 2 bottles. That one is already half used. I've had this like 3 months, maybe 3.5 months. That's how much of it I've used. I did give a decant away of this. So this is, oh man, this is like a lion roaring. This is all that is masculine. This is all that is strength. This is like Ganymede mixed with a little bit of Vertus Vanilla Oud. Now, Vertus Vanilla Oud is super strong, very sweet, very oudy, still somewhat mass appealing, but has this sort of like slight synthetic vibe. Well, this kind of took that and rounded that out and brought down half of the strength smell of it. So it's slightly sweet, slightly oudy, and it's like you took Ganymede and mixed it with Ganymede. Now, they took all the notes. They have a basket full of notes. You know, there's peach. There's a ton of notes in here that you wouldn't ever expect. Whatever they did, it smells like a lot like Ganymede. It has that. It has that appeal to where if you like Ganymede and you like fragrances that are like that, and people around you like that, well, this is absolutely unique enough that it does something totally different than Ganymede. And it's not like I could take Ganymede and I could mix it with Vertus Vanilla Oud and get that same fragrance. It absolutely wouldn't be. I've tried it. It smelled good, but it didn't smell like Anka. It's one of those that if you like Ganymede, you'll most likely like this. If not, this may give off some sort of gasoline, sterile atmosphere, doctor's office vibe. And I totally get that because a lot of people get that with Ganymede. But if you don't get that, get you the sample of this beauty. This is a roaring lion with his hair puffed up, walking through the jungle, talking about I am the best. Dude, and it's strong. Like, amazingly dumb, ridiculously, enormously strong. 15 hours strong. This is, you took 20 Viagras and you can't do anything else. That's this fragrance in a bottle. That's what this is. Sorry to be so vulgar. No, I'm not. That's really what it is. So my favorite release of 2024, an underhyped gem, a hidden gem, is Vertus Anka. All right, family. Thank you for coming to the show. The show that we are all a part, called This World, this spinning ball in the middle of this amazing life. Life is beautiful, man. And life isn't always good. Life isn't always fair. Life isn't always easy. But life is absolutely worth it, and it's beautiful. And I enjoy getting up, having a good experience, getting ready for my day, and putting on a fragrance. It helps add to the enjoyment of the day. It is not the enjoyment of the day. So it helps add to it. And I hope I can add some value to your day. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. It really is helping the channel. I'm definitely trying to grow, but at the right pace. And I want to grow with engagement. I don't want 40,000 subscribers that don't really watch, right? I want the interact, want the engagement. So hit that like button. Really appreciate that. Later.
Sense of art.